Oh, happy October to all you scary story lovers out there. This is MPZ TV on YouTube. Y'all make sure if you like these stories, you like, share, and subscribe with your friends. This story is called Room 333. It took place in a town called Singleton City. There was a nursing home called British Home. There was a girl that worked there as a caregiver called Janet. And she had a brother called Jack. So it was Janet's first day at work at British Home. And they told her, Janet, today you're assigned to room 333. Oh, really? She said. I'm not superstitious, but just making sure. What's the patient's name? Oh, the patient's name is Rosemary. Rosemary, okay. Janet went into her purse and she said, I'm gonna greet Rosemary with this beautiful rosemary that I've been having in my purse for a whole year already. She walked into the room. It was the coldest room in the floor. Dark, too. She turned the lights on and Janet was shocked to see that Miss Rosemary was wide awake and said, What are you doing in my room, little girl? Oh, Miss Rosemary, I'm not a little girl, said Janet. I'm your caregiver. And I brought you this here rosemary. And she placed the rosemary in Rosemary's hands and she said, Ah! She threw it and said, Don't you ever do that again. Don't be bringing all that stuff into my room. Get out of here with you. Get out. And Rosemary screamed as loud as can be, Get out! Janet ran out of the room so scared. She was crying. But she had to go back and help Rosemary eat for lunch. There in lunch they talked. They got to know each other a little better. And Rosemary told Janet, You know what? I'm going to share a little secret with you. I picked this room. Oh, that's nice. Why? Well, you'll find out soon enough, little girl. Once again, I'm not a little girl. I'm a woman. I'm your caregiver, said Janet to Rosemary. They started doing arts and craft one day, and Rosemary had drawn a broom and a witch on a big piece of paper to Janet, because Halloween was a couple days away. And she said, Take this picture with you, and on Halloween day we will both come out and play. She laughed. Janet said, Oh, thank you. How did you know I like to dress up like a witch for Halloween? Rosemary said, I've been knowing that for a long, long time. You take this drawing home. Rosemary was driving home that night and it was dark. And she saw a pile of 10 black cats fighting each other in the middle of the road. And she was trying to get by.
Okay.
But she couldn't. So she started honking, and the cats all hissed at her and ran into the woods. Like nothing. Disappeared into the woods. Rosemary. Janet got home that night, and she put that picture on her wall. And then Jack came out of nowhere and said, "Where'd you get this ugly drawing from?" And he ripped it. He ripped it to shreds. The next morning, after Janet cried herself to sleep, she had a dream that she was flying in the sky on a broom freely. And then she looked in the mirror and she had a pale green face with moles all over and green hair. And she screamed and said, "Ah!" And then she woke up. And she looked at the wall. And the drawing was put back together again. She did not know how that happened. She found it weird. But she knew there was something magical about Miss Rosemary in room 333. She went home to work the next day. And she told Rosemary, Janet did, what Jack had done. And that made Rosemary real angry. To the point where she yelled, "That Jack will pay! And he will pay tonight." And Janet said, "It's not that serious. The drawing was okay. I guess he might have just pretended like he ripped it, but he really didn't." "Oh no, he ripped it all right. I spent all night drawing you another one. I flew it in. I mailed it in as you slept." Did you just say flew it in? I was going to say mailed it in, but I don't know why I said flew it in while you slept. That same day, Rosemary and Janet had a great day at work. Got her ready for bed, and she went home. And Jack came back into the room and said, "Oh, it's that stupid drawing again. How many times do I have to..." Oh, he got scared and he left the room. He saw something in that painting. He went to his room crying. And that night, he heard his door open. And it was Rosemary. She started shaking him. "You ever rip that painting again, boy, you're gonna end up as my black cat. I will turn you into a black cat, or maybe even a broom." "I will never do it again," said Jack. And he started crying, and Rosemary went back into the painting. And Jack forgot all about it the next morning. He thought he got hypnotized or something, but he was Janet's servant. "Hey, Janet, do you want some coffee? Good morning. I got your uniform ready. Here you go. I made you some waffles, I made you some pancakes, some sausage, some bacon, some oatmeal, and I served you some cornflakes, and I made you the coffee to go, and I made your lunch for work today," said Jack to Janet. And Janet said, "Are you sick? Are you feeling okay? You never do this for me." Well, Jack said, "Well, something hit me last night. I should be a better brother to you." Okay, I believe you, I guess. We'll see how long this lasts, said Janet. She went to work the next day. Rosemary was not there. She said, "Where's Rosemary?" "We don't know. She escaped. She escaped into... Nobody saw her escape. I mean, she just disappeared out of nowhere. The only way she could have got out was through the window. But how? If this is the 100th floor. It was weird. But Janet had an idea. She went home that night, and the chair in her room was rocking. "Who's there? Is that you, Rosemary? I know you're in here. I know what you are, and I know what you've done." "Yes, it's me, child. You finally gave me a freedom. You have given me a freedom that nobody has ever given me before. The freedom of escaping that horrible place, British home, in a painting that you drew from your heart." "Well, I didn't actually draw it. You did." "Yeah, but I was drawing that because of your kindness. It came out of you. So now, tomorrow when you wake up, you will forget that I even existed. And you will be taking my place in British Home in room 333. "No," said Janet. "Why did you do this to me?" "Somebody had to do it." Janet did not want to go to sleep that night. She just started running. In the middle of nowhere, she ended up in the woods. There, she ran into the black cats again. And the black cats talked. And they said to her, "You know what, Janet, being in that nursing home is not that bad. You get 3 meals a day, free cable. You could be worse. She could turn you into a broom, picking up dust. Or even one of us, a black cat." See, we all served her as techs in room 333. But once she didn't like somebody, she turned them into whatever she wanted. I even saw her turn somebody into a bug once and stepped on him. She's terrible, I tell you. You should be thankful she's turning you into a witch. At least you have magical powers to get in and out of that room as you please at nighttime. And one thing you could do is turn the tables and give your curse to somebody else that shines to you. We can't do that. We've already been forsaken to be what she turned us to be. The only way we could turn back into what we used to be is if you could find a way to destroy Rosemary. "But how do I do it?" said Janet. "Take the deal. Take the deal. And one night when you both are flying, set her broom on fire. And if that broom burns all the way through, which I think it should, without her broom she will fall into her death," said the black cat. "Okay," said Janet, "I'll take the deal. Rosemary, I'll take the deal. I'll switch spots with you." The next morning she woke up and she was in the bed. "Old lady, with wrinkles all over her face, just waiting for the nighttime to do what that cat told her. Okay. Nighttime came. Rosemary was tapping at the window, free as a bird, and Janet was looking for a broom. And Rosemary told her, "Are you looking for this?" "Yes, I thought we'd go for a fly tonight. A beautiful night for a broom fly, don't you think?" "Oh, don't try to get me with that old tale. Did you forget I control all my cats? And it's not gonna work on me." And she flew into the green moon, never to be seen again. And room 333 got shut down the next morning. Janet was never found.
And me, your son.
But there was a picture.
Dad, be your son.
Okay. There was a picture drawn in some young boy's folder that said, "Janet is my best friend." The end. Happy Halloween. Remember, be careful who you make a friend, 'cause they may just be setting you up to take their spot and take away your freedom. The end.